To illustrate shadow work, let me tell you a story about a singer I worked with. And stay with me because what happened next in her auditions completely shifted how she showed up on stage. She was in one of my small group coaching programs, and we'd just done the same exercise you did. After doing it, I asked the group, "So what came up for you? What did you notice about your shadow? Did you get a visual of it or not?" I asked, "What could you tell about how your shadow might be feeling or how your shadow feels toward you?" That singer spoke up right away and said, "Oh, I immediately got a visual of me as a young girl, maybe 7 or 8." Then she told us in her family she was the one who always had too much energy. She always wanted to perform and get attention. This is typical of a kid, right? And I would say typical of a young singer, but it was too much for her family, and they really shut her down. So in the coaching session, I asked her, "What's the feeling that you sense coming from your shadow?" She said, "She's really sad. She seems unwanted." I asked, "Do you have a sense of what your shadow wants from you?" She said, "She wants me near her." That's a typical thing that can happen with a shadow. They want the attention they've been starved for. But I've also seen shadows that show up angry and don't want you to come near, which makes sense. After all, you're the one who's shut them out. So there can be a huge range. There's no right or wrong here. It's a matter of getting to know your shadow however it shows up for you. Now, this singer originally came to me because she wanted to get more performance opportunities. She also wanted to upgrade her promo materials and her website, and we did all of that. But in the course of our work, she told me she wasn't happy with how she was working in the practice room, and she wasn't satisfied with how her auditions had been going lately. So when we did this little bit of shadow work, I said, that shadow, that part of your unconscious is what you need to bring into your auditions. She said, "What do you mean?" And I explained that the energy that your shadow has, that kind of unbridled love of performing that was too much for your family, that enthusiasm is what's needed in your auditions and performances. And she really heard this. Up until then, she'd been careful, trying to control too much in her auditions. And so we talked about how to make a real connection with her shadow so she could bring her shadow energy into her practicing and performances. Over the months we worked together, her shadow work started to pay off. She found a new focus and confidence in her work, and eventually a greater freedom in her performances.